Hello, Matthew Williams here with a video to slag off a really quite badly made formation. And sad thing to have to say, but looks great from a distance, and Steve Alexander has obviously carefully chosen his shots just to show it to you in a way that looks appealing, i.e. shots, these are my shots by the way, but shots like this, pew, where it kind of looks, whoa, yeah, that looks great, yeah, because you can't really work out the angles and things that are going on when you see shots like this, or this, or this, or this. So back to this particular photo, which is a direct overhead shot, and I have taken out the fisheye effect, and basically I have aligned by rotating. As you can see, I've rotated the photo slightly so that this piece here is lined up east-west. So let's zoom in and have a little closer look. Okay, let's come back at just at gnats. There you go. Okay, so what do we know about this formation? And let's have a look at alignments. So if we put the alignment, as I say, I rotated the photo so that from the center to the end, at least one of these arms is aligned. Okay, so we'll use that as a reference point. Now, of course, all the other arms should be aligned. And visually, from a distance, you probably think they are. But now that I've got a straight line in there, what do you reckon to this one here? Do you think that's in line? Let's have a look. Is it in line? No, because if we follow the line on, it would have come out like this. So the center of that circle is off, the center of that tip is off. Okay, so then if we put a north-south line in, you can see, I'll zoom in so you can see it a bit better, that this one is not too bad based on that one. So these two are actually pretty good. The diamond is a little bit off to the right, so that's misaligned. The angle there of the diamond is angled up. Okay, and as you can see, this one up here goes all the way up and misses the circle again. So let's drop these out and have a look at something else. So if we zoom back, if we say that this and this are straight lines from that point based on the right angle that we have here, which we showed earlier on, which was that one, so that's the right angle, right? Drop that one out. If we say that this should be north-south, you can see, look at the crescent here. The crescent, in fact, as you can see, oops, the crescent comes out past the line, whereas up in the top it doesn't even meet the line. And that can mean only one thing, that the alignment of the crescent is well off. They didn't know where to start and they didn't know where to stop. So they went too far over here and too little up here. Then if we move this idea further on and we look at the right hand side, if we put a line in that side, you can see that this one nearly touches the line, which is good, but this one doesn't come far enough. In fact, it tapers out. If we have a little look here, it tapers out into a line, just going into the crop, but not an actual part of the crescent, just a line that's been drawn in. So that doesn't work out very well. But what you have to do is actually look at the pictures to see, you know, some of the real mistakes. So I've got some close-ups on inner bits, and this is where it all starts to really fall apart. So let's have a look at this one here. So again, a crescent and lines. they finish as a line, but not as part of the crescent. So the crescent should really finish about there, and it should really finish about there, but someone has gone and done a line and a line, which really kind of messes it up. So let's have a look at some other photos which show up some big problems. Okay, here you can see the real mess of the way that these circles have been put down. Really messy. And considering this is such a big formation, you know, these are not small circles, so they're not grape shots. These are actually quite large circles. So look at the mess on this one. Would you call that circular? Interesting. What about over here? Would you call that circular? I would call that more oval, but hey, that's just me. So, you know, what about these ones up here? Messy again, bit messy. Okay, now you can see a construction line here, but note how the construction line appears to be at an angle, whereas it should be more like this. It appears to be at an angle so that the diamond tip is actually misaligned. And over here, this line that's been put in actually goes into the crop. Look, it actually cuts in to the crop and cuts into the crop here, so it's beyond where it should be. So this line doesn't meet up correctly. It produces a taper and then goes in to a different size. And you can see the similar sort of idea employed here. There's like a mark that goes into the crop. So construction methods, leftovers being shown. And you can see here on this other side, this line that goes in, you know, really messy. The crescent, it doesn't even look like it's actually circular. This one does. This one looks like it's circular, but this, I gotta say, I mean, you know, look at the angles here. It sort of flattens out across here. It's like somebody's tried to do this by eye. I honestly think somebody's tried to do this by eye and then just done this straight bit. And I mean, you know, a crescent doesn't go like that. A crescent comes round, so it would be starting to sort of come up here. If it was a circle, it would be coming up here. So somebody has just literally come to the end and just gone walk. Crazy, absolutely crazy. But have a look here. Very messy work going on. Somebody's just dropped a line in there, and a construction mistake. Somebody's actually put a line in here and hasn't corrected it. There's not one on this side, but there is one on this side, so that's a big mistake. Here you can see a real mess on this grape shot circle. I mean, very messy, very, very messy, and quite a bit of mess going on over here. We'll have a look at a better photo of this in a minute that shows. I mean, look at this. This looks like it's been done by eye. You know, wobbling, straight, wobbling. You know, the end here is really wibbly wobbly. You know, look at that. Is that straight or is that wibbly wobbly? Looks wibbly wobbly to me. And what the hell is this? Look, straight at this end, nice and neat and straight. Well, apart from the edges, little bits there. But what's this supposed to be? Wonk, 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 wonk. Is that supposed to be straight? Doesn't look very straight to me. Absolutely terrible workmanship. And this is the piece I showed you a minute ago and said we'd look at it a bit closer. I mean, again, you know, it's coming around here and then it goes straight and then it tapers off to a smaller end. You know, and you'd imagine that this end here has to be the same size as that end. I mean, this end looks smaller, that end looks bigger. I mean, you know, this is just a meandering mess, a real mess. And of course, this off-angle construction line that hasn't even been put in correct. And look, you know, where it then dips into the crop and then doesn't follow this this line up here. So, whew, yeah, wow. And you can see how the crescent points don't work up the top. You can see how they, just should have stopped, and maybe somebody's tried to just draw them in manually and made a real pig's ear of it. And in this photo, when you actually align yourself from end to end, so you've got that is lined up, you can see that this one comes off to the right. You can actually see it with your eye. It's not a fisheye effect. You can actually see that this one is bending off to the right. And again, similarly, you can see that the problem with the angle that I was describing and showing you earlier on, you can see that this one's much higher and this one's much lower, and this one's much higher and this one's lower. So you can actually see that the whole thing is skew-if. So really, really bad. So thanks very much for watching.